So cheating me cheats you. You know, a security officer once said to me, "There's not a car in this parking lot that I can't open with a brick." I'm sure he could have used one of Al Austell's Tennessee Thumpers as well. This puppy will work every time. But he of course was making the point that the actions of the owners not leaving valuables in the car, or at least in view, were as important or even more important than the actions of the would-be thief choosing to commit the crime. It could also be pointed out that if the thief knew the owner of the car, they might think twice before breaking in and stealing. It is why in every movie or TV show where an officer is taken hostage, they immediately try to start introducing themselves to their abductor. In general, if you know someone, it's harder to steal from them, murder, or cheat them. So I've heard. That is not to say exceptions don't abound, but in general it is harder for most the more they know someone. To be blunt, no online course will ever be cheat-proof, and one can argue that traditional courses are hardly cheat-proof either. But just like when you park your car, there are always ways to lower the risk of issues occurring. When contemplating this issue, do not get stuck merely focusing on the actions you want to prevent, but also on how you can inspire actions to be encouraged. Possibly the greatest challenge or fear of online courses is cheating. So how should the issues be handled? Well, as instructors, you can be proactive and limit cheating in an online environment, based on a few tips that we'll mention. But the most important factor is a relationship with your students. Just like the thief, students are much less likely to break the rules if they know or respect and have a relationship with the professor. Getting to know your students and establishing a relationship is much more important than any timing or lockdown device. This is true in an online or a traditional face-to-face course. When you go from being just a name to being an instructor who cares and mentors, you just made the decision to cheat that much harder for your students. Make that decision even harder by having a frank discussion about cheating and acknowledging it takes place. As a part of your intro, early on before testing and assignments come due, it is good to make sure and cover the topic. Ignoring the topic or pretending that cheating does not exist is not the answer. Just like a parent sitting down with their child to discuss drugs or alcohol, acknowledge and discuss the issue with students, and make your expectations clear. Mention the honor code and how in reality one who cheats themselves in class and in life. This takes away justifications that seem to weasel into students' heads as they try to rationalize certain types of cheating, or even ranking some forms more acceptable than others. When the ground rules are laid and discussed, the lines are drawn and choices are made before crunch or temptation time arises. Which side of the line are they on is the student's choice, but at least you have made the line clear in their minds. Here are a few other tips that you can use in your course that will help to limit cheating. Things like using webcams during testing, limit times when testing is available, timed quizzes and exams, using the Respondus Lockdown browser, randomized questions or using pools of questions, higher order thinking questions, turn in sections, chunks, or rough drafts of large projects or papers throughout this semester instead of just waiting at the end for the main paper to be turned in. Make note that you randomly Google paper titles and excerpts. Require the honor code to be checked before they can submit tests or assignments, or require the honor code to be posted on every paper that they turn in. Cheating me only cheats you. For some that means nothing, but for others it is a subtle reminder to do the right thing. So give it a try, use some of these tips. Some would say, it's going to happen. But if you address the situation, you're making it that much harder for someone to cheat. In our next video, we'll talk about if a little bit is good, then a lot must be, well, you'll have to tune in to find out.